bringing a lot of vision and that sort of thing to this school board. He's also a local pastor. He has kids that have been in the school system before, so he's going to bring a lot of experience to that board. And one of the things he said, I sat down and I realized I'm the new kid on the block. He even abstained from some votes just because he hadn't been in that seat very long.
Right, right.
So, it was a very
doing
good
the right thing. I think that's great.
Yeah, it was a very good interview, and I know he was texting me quite a bit through the tournament as we were in Murfreesboro. And
I left you alone. See, I left you alone.
That's okay. No, it was fine. It was really funny. I got a warning on Radio Row. I didn't know this. Again, I was the new kid on the block up there, so I was walking very carefully. Mr. Gillespie, all the fine folks, TWSAA, very good to work with. Apparently, you're not supposed to show any emotion on Radio Row. That's kind of hard.
That's hard. That's really hard.
That was kind of. I mean, I wasn't like I was jumping up, putting my hands in the air, but apparently I fist pumped one time when Anthony Jones slammed the ball.
How do you not?
So
You're
I got
human.
a nice little note that just said, "Hey, it's just the understood rule on Radio Row. We don't show any emotion." So the only emotion I was able to show that I couldn't help was my voice. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I had a good time Friday night. It was fun. I told a friend of mine. I actually posted, I think, on Facebook that it's fun that. I came from a radio background to an extent. I said, and it was fun that I had 3 sets of friends who were doing on 3 different stations. Russ Barker I went to college with and adore. He was doing the TWSAA.com one.
Yes.
Of course, Bradley Owens was doing one, and you were doing one. I was like, okay, I got to flip back and forth between all 3.
What's funny is we all ended up at Longhorns together after the game. And got to eat. I was leaving, oh, man, I think it was 11 o'clock or 10:30 when I was leaving over there, and I had about an hour drive to where I was staying. But it was a good time of visiting together.
Yeah, you can't eat around Russ Barker. I'm sorry. He'll make you laugh so hard that you can't eat or drink.
Oh, man, we had a great time. So I want to give you a chance. I know we haven't had the radio since, hadn't had a radio show since that.
Right.
Great season for these Vikings.
Fantastic season. I mean, Silver Ball is, there's only one team that beat you, and there was, I'm going to say, there was some controversy around that. So, if you worked your tail off all season long and got part of it taken away from you, that irritates me. But you guys did such a great job. I mean, that's amazing. We're so proud of our Vikings. Every Viking team, I don't care if it's the volleyball team, football, baseball, whatever, we're so proud of them.
Yes.
But our basketball team and Coach Ab
Yes.
and those boys, and I've told everybody, I said, here's the thing about Coach Ab and our other coaches as well, but Coach Ab, if you're a heck of a player and yet you're acting up and you start as my grandmother would say, acting a fool, he's going to sit you on the bench.
Yeah.
He wants his kids to be good kids. He wants his kids to be the way they're supposed to be, and young gentlemen, and I'm impressed.
There was something that happened in the final minute of the game, and it was some frustrations, and I won't name the starter, but there was a starter committed a silly foul. I mean, it was a silly foul.
Yeah.
He immediately motions for him to come to the sideline, and I read his lips to this player. He said, "Is that really how you want your season to end?"
There you go.
There he was in the final minute of the game. He says, "I'm not through coaching." Even though our season's over. By that point, we knew the game was over. I'm not through coaching. He would not say one bad thing about the controversial stuff until his players left the press room.
Right.
When they left the press room, he looked at me and Colin, and he said, there was some funny stuff going on tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a coach in the room that I had a friend who said, "Was that legit?" And he would say, "Yeah, that was legit." And then about 90% was nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, you take the good with the bad, and,
But I'm so proud of these guys.
Yes. Yes. And you got to realize, too, refs are human as well. They make mistakes. We all
didn't
do.
go out there trying to do that.
No. So we're going to play an interview later on in the program that I played yesterday. I know some told me they missed it. They want to hear it one more time, that we got to sit down with Coach Ab in the press room, just us. Some of it has his son right beside him, and then his son would leave in the middle of the interview, and we would get to talk to Coach Ab. And that's when he even mentions the ref himself.
Good.
So,
I'm going to mention that. I want to listen to that, too.
Yeah. So we've got a brand new event, first ever.
Yeah. We've started doing some networking events. And that's last week. The reason I missed, I was at TCCE Institute, which is the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce Executives Institute. And everybody knows that you go to these conferences and you think, why in the world am I here? I have no reason to be here. It's terrible.
Yeah.
TCCE is one of those that I've got 10 and a half pages of notes, if that tells you anything. And one of the things was, and we had talked about this before that, but more networking events because all of our chamber members have asked about it. So we're starting a morning mingle.
Okay.
It's just basically coffee. I mean, there's no agenda unless the group wants an agenda. We may bring in, I'm trying to get Congressman Hoffer to come in once in a while, and just give us an update. There's a lot of stuff going on in the legislature that's a little hinky this year, so we want to let him have some say on that. But this first one, it's an hour of mingle around, talk to your fellow chamber member, and see. And if it's mainly for chamber members, but if you've got a person, if you're a chamber member and you say, hey, I've got a buddy who needs to be a chamber member, bring them.
Yeah.
Let them walk around, talk. We're going to give everybody 60 seconds to go around the room and tell what you do, who you are, introduce yourself, and then we're just going to drink good coffee from the coffee shop.
One thing that I noticed in your newsletter that you said, too, is maybe you're struggling with a particular thing in your business. This is a safe place. Bring it, mention it, and maybe somebody that's sitting next to you has struggled with that before, but they have a solution that has helped them.
That's always happened. Every networking event we do, that always happens at least once or twice. So we think doing this on a regular basis, once a month, once every 2 months, is going to help people know that they've got a place. Oh, if I'm still struggling with that next month, I know where I can go to ask a question.
Yeah, and it's the secret location that nobody knows about in town. Nobody's ever been here. It's right here at the coffee shop.
So I rigged it a little bit because I put it at everybody's favorite place.
That's right. 8 o'clock in the morning, March 26th. You say 8 to 9 max?
8 to 9, yeah. And we're going to let everybody get back to work after that.
Awesome. Also, spring around the corner. The sunshine is a little bit deceiving today. It is 45 degrees. It was a little cooler than that when I first got up this morning, but it's doing a lot better now.
It is.
And we're going to get up into, close to 60 degrees by the end of the day today.
Nice.
But that means spring's around the corner, and that means our fresh vegetables and all of that picks back up.
Makes me so happy.
I was in Humboldt doing that at least twice a week, just going and buying stuff. Because if you didn't get there in the first 30 minutes last year.
Oh, you didn't get peas.
Oh, they were selling out of everything. The only thing you was getting was tomatoes.
That's right. You could get tomatoes and you could get a little, squash will grow, great. So you could get some tomatoes, maybe, and you could get some squash, but you couldn't get green tomatoes and you couldn't get purple whole peas.
Right.
And you may or may not get corn. So farmers market kicks off. We may back this up a little bit if the weather is nice, and I've got my farmers calling in saying I've got food.
Right.
But right now we're going to say we're starting June 15th.
Okay.
That's a Saturday, and then every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday until September 28th.
All right.
Again, if we've got vegetables coming in before then, you may see me back that up earlier, which will be fantastic. I'd love to. I've already got some craft vendors who say, or some Susan Eaton who did soap last year.
Yes.
She's ready to be back this year, so she could come anytime. But
she brought all kinds of stuff. I remember my wife bought the laundry detergent stuff from her, the whipped kind of laundry detergent. Now that's all she wants to use.
Dog treats.
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff.
Essential oils and that sort of thing. So it's more than just fruits and vegetables. It's not a craft fair, so we got to make sure people understand.
If it's handmade, if it's handmade soaps or handmade. Now, if you're going to do pies or breads or cakes or something like that, there's an extra step that you need to take. You've got to label it. Call me and I'll get you those rules and regulations. They come down from the state, not from us. You do need a vendor license this year from the chamber.
Yes.
And there's a very, very nominal fee. It's $15 for the whole season. We think that's small. That's only for advertising because we want to get as many people there as possible and for signage. So we're going to pay for half. That's going to pay for about half. And so that should help everybody.
I mean, you take $15. How many times are we going to have this out there? I mean, how many days a week are they there? I mean,
you're talking what, 1, 2, 3.5 months. So.
Yeah, I mean, that comes down to just almost pennies on the day.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. $15, and you'll make that back. I'm going to tell you, folks, if you're listening today and you are a vendor, I'm not making this up. Within 30 minutes, if I didn't get there in the first 30 minutes, I might as well not even have went. It was just very little there. The first time I made that mistake. The second time I did not. And you had the people that now they have a business here in town, the fruit folks.
Yeah.
They were there, had all the fresh fruit. Now they're here. Are they here every day now, or is it every week?
Every week, maybe.
I think it's once a week they come to town. And I remember seeing that line to the point where people were saying, I can't get in on my lunch break.
Yeah. So it's going to be, it's nice. We're going to have several people out there. We had asked if at some point they'd like to move. Nobody wants to move. They all like being in Bailey Park. They like the trees. They like, and also when you come, you can bring your kids that morning, and while you shop, the kids can play at Bailey Park.
Yeah. Now, last year we got a later start because of the weather, and it was brutally cold.
Yeah, and unless it turns off really, really cold again, I think we'll be on time this year.
I think we will, too, and the ground has had plenty of rain. I guess we just got to wait for it to dry out.
So they can plant.
I heard Tyson on another station this morning talking about how that they're about 50 days behind at the factory site. It's just simply because there's just too much water.
Oh, it's mushy. I've been out there. It's mud. It's mud.
But they did complete, while we're on Tyson, they did complete the meal. They're working on the inside now.
Yeah. And it looks like the Twin Towers out there. It's
unreal.
Just concrete. It's gorgeous.
Fruitland got a skyscraper. Can you believe
Fruitland got a skyscraper. the live production office at the Humboldt City Industrial Park.
Yes.
They're working on the inside. The outside's done. They're working on the inside.
Yeah, and they're saying they move in it probably in May.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal. Now, I mean, everything else is looking like 2020. You got
and they should be still on track to open December of 2020.
Now, I got a text, and matter of fact, I saw Mr. Deloach, who's with Pritchard Realty here in town. I got a text from a friend of mine. He works for Tyson in Oklahoma. That's really how he got his job. They had a little farmhouse with some land that already had everything set up for him. He went in there, and basically they paid him to come to the farm and work the farm. Well, apparently he is expressing interest in coming back to Tennessee.
Oh, good.
So not only will he benefit Tyson and Tyson benefit him, but a local real estate agent's going to get to sell some land, maybe. So it starts benefiting everybody.
That's what we talked about when Tyson first started coming into town, and they said what was originally a $320 million investment then went to $392, and I think it's actually above that now. But that didn't include... Oh my gosh, think about it. There are farmers who are going to raise chickens. There are people who are going to sell feed to those farmers who are going to, besides the feed mill. I mean, there are people who are going to sell what the chickens sleep on. What is it? It's wood chips a lot of the time. So they're going to sell those. You're going to have people who are working at the plant who are going to buy gas on their way home. They're going to buy groceries on the way home. They're going to buy houses here. I mean, they're going to go to Mi Casita across the street. They're going to come into the coffee shop. The amount of money that this is going to bring in, I can't imagine. Yeah.
Well, and I even heard of one county that is needing to get their people to working so bad, they're maybe even trying to work out public transportation to bring people to work.
Right.
That's unreal.
It's
so then
amazing.
You think about Wendy's going in out there. That's close enough. Those workers could even, if they got brought to work, they could walk to eat lunch.
We're working on new places to stay and to eat and to shop. And so David Corvin, who's the live production manager at Tyson, when he was speaking to the kids at Humboldt High School a few weeks ago, said, those of you who think that you're going to graduate high school and never come back to Humboldt, he said, I want you to do me a favor. Take a picture in May of Humboldt. Just go around town and take a picture. And then come back in 3 years and come home, and you're not going to recognize anything. Just put those pictures side by side, and I agree. You're not going to recognize Humboldt.
And we're in a different place in our economy right now. You know, I heard them talking again this morning about, the people that they're trying to hire, they're having to really look for them because they're trying to fix that problem by getting into the high schools, like you're saying, and talking about it. But where the local colleges are graduating about 24 to 25 that will be able to work at these facilities, they're needing 100 right off the bat.
Well, I mean, maintenance. I laugh at Vanessa Preston, who's the HR manager. She said that she almost wants to go, fake platitudes to people who's like the other factories who say, I got to find 2 maintenance people. I need 100. I need 100 in 2020. So,
so they're working hard, and we appreciate the fine folks at Tyson and all that they're doing in our community, and it has really sparked something here. Not only are we seeing the Viking pride in the athletics, but it really this just city pride that has returned, and excited for that. You got other events here. I don't want to take all of your time.
That's okay.
April the 2nd, you've got a Women in Business reworking.
Networking. Right, that's one of the new things that we're doing, Women in Business. We're going to meet out at Crown Winery at 5:30 to 7 probably on April the 2nd. We're going to just, again, there's no structure for this first meeting. Go around and help one another. The same thing that the Morning Mingle is doing, only women seem to, such a good time that women are supporting other women. There's a meme on Facebook, adjust another woman's crown without ever letting the public know that it was crooked. That's kind of what this is about. We want to support other women. It's tough. Even in 2019, it's still tough sometimes for a woman in business. So we're gonna do that kind of support. Festival coming up.
Yes.
April 5th through the 11th. We keep harping on that, but April 5th through the 11th, lots of new things coming up this year. I got to show you some stuff.
You mean May the 5th, right?
Did I say April?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Is this Monday again?
Yeah, you made me panic because we're not ready for that yet.
No, May 5th through May 11th, Beth Culpepper will have my head.
Uh-oh.
So, we've got some great stuff this year.
All right, let's do it.
We got some new T-shirts. I'm just going to lay the mic down.
All right, that's fine. I'll tell you what, I'll hold it up just in case. Great. There you go.
So we've got a couple of new T-shirts. There's a gray one. This one is my favorite, I think. Humboldt.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
With the berry. We've also got this nice, I think it's called Vintage Red.
Now, if you're watching on Facebook, you're able to see this.
Yeah, you're able to see it.
To the radio, you need to go to Facebook.
Yeah. So we've got the new strawberry on the T-shirts. We've also got a great, this is ladies, obviously.
Right.
It's a pink berry on a white cap.
There you
trucker
go.
hat. And my favorite thing that I can't believe I love is these pop sockets. We've got a strawberry pop socket. Love those. It even has cups.
There you go.
So come by the chamber office. We've Beth has got those for sale. The Strawberry Festival's got those for sale. Not the chamber, but the Strawberry Festival's got those for sale. Lots of great stuff in there. Get your festival gear. But we're not the only place selling festival stuff. Go and get your strawberry gear from places like City Gift, and go get your strawberry clothing from Maine and from Savvy and all of that. So there are lots of places in town selling strawberry stuff, so you're ready.
And then you've got the metal shops. You've got the woodworking shops. They're selling all those strawberries to put in your yard. It's just going to be a great thing. And I was looking over the event. We got Beth coming in hopefully very, very soon.
Yeah.
She's going to talk about it. You got some changes to the opening night ceremonies. They've also got an extra event about some shortcake that'll be coming up later in the
shortcake
week.
In the park.
So I won't steal all of her thunder because I know she's been working very hard on this. Man,
she's the hardest working person.
Because you're missing Miss Surratt this year.
Yep.
And she moved out to Knoxville area.
Chattanooga.
That's right.
That's right.
And so Beth has just jumped right in here, which she's no stranger to the festival.
No,
been working behind the scenes for years.
I got to tell you, she's one of the hardest working people I know, and I'm so privileged to call her friend, but so proud to be working with her. She's an amazing human being in general, but she's also a fantastic events coordinator, and she's got some great fresh new ideas and determined to make them work.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you being here with us today, Miss Amanda, and we look forward to visiting with you again next week. Let's take a quick commercial break. You're listening to On the Record at 9 on the Good News Radio Network. Welcome in On the Record at 9. Continuing this morning, we was talking about Gibson County and the growth that's happening, and I came across a statistic. In the census back in 2000, Medina only had 1,000 people. Can you imagine that? And now we're sitting here where they're saying they've got around 5,000 in the city limits of Medina. That's not counting the outskirts there. And while housing developments have been very, very successful, they're struggling with local businesses. And so they're trying to get some local businesses to help keep those 5,000 people working in their town. And now we've got somebody, no stranger to radio, George B. I have listened to you since I was, I would say, in junior high school. And when I heard you was coming back to radio, I had to tune in that day down at the roundabout.
Well, you know, Seth, I'm sorry to hear that you had to listen to me when you were that age. But you were one of those ambushed kids.
Yeah.
And what happens is, in previous years, and I run into them all the time, when I retired from business, I taught school a few more years. And the kids would come in and they'd look at me funny, and then when I start talking, they'd look at me funnier, and they say, I used to have to listen to you in the car when Mom and Dad or Grandma picked me up from school. But, you know, they became fans, and we appreciated that,
right.
You know, and it has actually made the demographics of talk radio expand downward. You know, now we've got the X generation, and, you know, we had the millennials. We want some of all of them, you know. That's just a pleasant place to be. You were talking about Milan and the census.
Yeah.
That's something we were talking about yesterday with some business owners. It is so close, as is Humboldt, Gibson, surrounding towns of Jackson. A lot of people are gone from home all during the day.
Right.
They're working somewhere else. And while you build your grocery stores and your retail shops where the rooftops are, if it is a high percentage of bedroom community, then that can cause problems for business growth. Maybe not business growth, but the number of businesses that particular town will support. And that was an interesting, that whole news story is very interesting to me.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of that starting to reverse here in Humboldt with the announcement of Tyson. They're building all these other people coming, and we're seeing that change. But, like, I live right behind Black & Decker. I live right there in the three-way area. And but I'm finding myself now driving to Humboldt to eat.
Well, yeah, and there's also a factor of people just like, well, let's go to town.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what town it is.
Yeah.
Let's just go somewhere else for a new experience. Now, I lived in Henderson, Tennessee for 22 years.
Okay.
And never worked in Chester County.
Yeah.
You know, just never. I was either on the road or I was in radio in Jackson or doing something like that. So,
speaking of radio in Jackson, you've got a fundraiser coming up, and quite an ordeal. I was driving by that caboose, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, how are they going to get up there? You know.
Well, we still don't know that, but it doesn't matter because we have a couple of guys. We have some volunteers who say they can do it and keep us safe. Now, they have not agreed to bring us down yet. They have agreed to lift us up. It's only 50 feet up.
Okay.
Now, that caboose is an icon of West Tennessee. Casey Jones is an icon of West Tennessee. It's been in the air for 30 years.
Wow.
At 50 feet in the air. It's survived near tornadoes 2 or 3 times. It's so we feel pretty secure about our time on and in the caboose.
Okay.
Brad McCoy, my colleague, Steve Bowers, one of my colleagues, they're going to be with me. They're going to be in the caboose broadcasting with the equipment.
Yeah.
I'm a big tech failure. I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of tech geek.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm non-tech geek, non-tech nerd. And they're going to be in the caboose with the controls. I'm going to be on the balcony.
Okay.
With a harness. Now, the reason we're trying to stir up attention is because we are fundraising that day, and it's April 1st.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. It's Monday, April 1st.
This is really happening.
Yeah, we do what we say we're going to do. Yeah, I know there are doubters out there because of April Fools, so you're just going to have to tune in, come by, and see.
That's right.
We'll make a believer out of you that day. But the fundraiser that we're involved with is Birth Choice.
Okay.
Birth Choice of West Tennessee offers education, testing, counseling, alternatives to abortion.
Yeah.
They are putting together a mobile unit that will do ultrasound, pregnancy testing. It'll be running some of the rural counties of West Tennessee. We heard about it, and my family's heart is into that work.
Sure.
So many of the radio group people are into that, and so many of our listeners are, because we have discovered, and this was told to me by the director of Birth Choice, in the areas of the country where there is a mobile van that goes out and does ultrasounds, 90% of women who have the ultrasound decide not to have the abortion.
Wow.
Now, in the offices, it's 80%.
Okay.
I don't know what the magic is about the mobile van.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, and it's a very nice atmosphere. You know, people are stressed out.
Yes, they are.
They need to be calm. They need to have a pleasant conversation with somebody. Now, we haven't set the goal yet, but it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars.
Okay.
There is a rumor that if that they're going to have 2 buckets to drop donations in. One is for getting me out of the caboose, and the other is for keeping me up there. Also, with a $2,000 donation from one source, I'm going to spend the night in the caboose.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I did hear you had talked yesterday. I listened to yesterday afternoon when you had this guy on, and you said something about you've already talked about what you're going to pack and take up with you.
I'm going to take a backpack up when we lift up. You know, everything I think I might need. I don't want to spend the night in the caboose.
Okay.
But I would do that for this fundraiser.
Yeah.
And everybody that's involved, Steve Bowers is going to be in the air.
Sure.
Brad McCoy is going to be in the air. I'll be in the air. Then we'll have a crew on the ground. Now, we're going to make it fun, too. If you come by, I'm going to sit on the east balcony where I can wave to people on the bypass.
Sure.
We'll try not to cause any accidents. We'll have some traffic control. We'll have some gift cards that will be attached to and you're too young for this, Seth.
Okay.
But when I was a kid, our toys were not electronic games or video games. Our toys were things like balsa wood airplane gliders.
Okay.
About 9 inches wingspan, and you sailed them, and they would go a long way. We have some of those we're going to attach gift cards to.
Oh, okay.
And about every 15 minutes, I'm going to sail one off the balcony, not towards the bypass, but towards the parking area of the Old Country Store. Some of them will be from area businesses in West Tennessee. Some of them will be for meals at the Old Country Store, which is really an iconic visitor attraction in Tennessee. So that's April 1st.
All right.
Now, the pledges have already started coming in.
Wow.
And we're taking those on the air. We ask people to use a code word, caboose, if they send one directly to Birth Choice. But we'll be taking them from now till April 1st. We'll take them on April 1st day. Put me in the caboose, but don't keep me there. Help us out. And this is going to be the first time in about 30 years. Nobody's been up there since it was, they called it a christening.
Yeah.
And being the Casey Jones Village, it was not an alcohol bottle christening. It was an apple cider bottle that christened the caboose.
Yeah.
With that time, Jackson Mayor Bob Conger and the matriarch of Old Country Store, Ann Shaw, who has now passed away.
Yes.
But that's a historic place. It's a high-traffic place. We're going to call attention to the broadcast because the broadcast calls attention to Birth Choice.
Sure. Now, how did you get the idea of the caboose? How did that all come about?
It was one of the bus persons at the Old Country Store in the Dixie Cafe where we broadcast most days. Yeah. Our satellite office. I've only been in studios 2 days in the 3 months I've been back on air. I think I can find my way there if necessary. A bus boy, or gentleman, working at the store, coming by and picking up and getting tables set for the next guest, walked past me one day and said, "Enjoy the show." I said, "Well, thank you very much." He said, "You ought to, why don't you do a show from the caboose?" And I said, "Well, there's several over there." He said, "I mean the one up in the air." I said, I'll file that back, and if the need arises, we might do that. So, awesome. it came from just one of the listeners, one of the workers.
That's pretty cool. April the 1st. Now, you're on the air that day. You'll be on from, 3 to 5, 3 to 6?
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
Awesome.
3 to 6. That sounds, usually those 3 hours pass by very quickly, Seth.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I drove in yesterday to do the show, and I'd driven down Casey Jones Lane from the bypass or from the side access road probably 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah.
But I looked up, and I saw that caboose in a light that I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
because of this experience. We're going to have fun.
It's going to be a good time. Make sure you tune in. That is our sister station, 93.1 WTJS, the Talk of Jackson. You can hear George B every afternoon from 3 until 6. And I appreciate you listening to On the Record at 9 today. We're going to wrap this up. We are live at the coffee shop. Make sure you come by, see Guy and Tammy Causey here. Appreciate them allowing us to be here every Tuesday on the record at 9. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to play that interview tomorrow again. We're out of time today, but I will play that interview with Coach Ab tomorrow. So if you tuned in for that, join me in the morning. I will do it right at 9 o'clock in the morning, opening the show. We'll get right into that interview with Coach Ab. It's about 6 minutes long, just basically expressing his thanks to the fans for their support. We had about half of that gym on Saturday night, and it was loud, and you could see the Viking pride very, very strong, and we appreciate these young men and what all they was able to accomplish, bringing the silver ball back to Humboldt and Gibson County. Thanks again for listening to On the Record at 9, Good News Radio Network. Until tomorrow, God bless. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.